Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about this crazy dream that I had today and how sometimes our dreams can tell us certain things. And when we look at things from a certain perspective, we might miss the message. Even being in a toxic relationship, sometimes we miss the message. But when we look at it from a different angle, we can see a lot. So I had a pretty traumatic day today. I was in some pain. I had some medical stuff that was quite painful, quite stressful, and I'm fine. I'm totally fine. But it was some pretty substantial pain that I had to go through for a while. I didn't want to go through the pain, but I knew I had to. So I felt a little helpless today and a little tense. And so I took a nap afterwards because it was kind of hard. I'm totally fine. But I take this nap and I had this horrendous dream that was pretty intense, pretty real feeling. So the dream, it's kind of hard reciting the dream, but I was cooking, just kind of having a regular old day, just cooking away, and I had two things of meat. I don't know why it was two, but I'm cooking it, and then I get distracted that these people come into my place, and they're just kind of doing whatever they're doing, and I'm just cooking, and I wasn't quite sure how familiar they were, but so I'm doing my own thing, trusting them, they're doing whatever. And then all of a sudden I look over and my purse, there's some money missing. And I'm kind of like, well, not really thinking of it because maybe I put it away a different way. But then I look back over like, no, there should have been more money in there. And then that's all gone. So I start getting suspicious and I end up going upstairs and I have my phone left downstairs. So it's totally ransacked. Before we go upstairs, though, there was a group, like I said, of offenders, we'll put it that way. And it was still kind of calm, like they didn't seem threatening, but it was off. And then all of a sudden, on top of it, there's a bunch of my elementary students with actual faces. You could tell who they were. The other ones gave an aura of who I knew they were. Those were specific ones, and they're beautiful kids, nothing wrong with them. They didn't mean harm to me or even my place, but they joined in. So there's this whole group, probably 40 people upstairs ransacking my place. And then the focus goes back onto the offenders, not so much the kids. And I notice everything's taken away, and they're kind of nonchalant about it, not really mimicking. I don't know the correct word. Nonchalant, like careless of, so what, like screw you, we're doing this. And I start feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and then it starts getting like uncomfortable, like something bad is going to happen physically. So I'm trying to grab my phone to call 911, and I feel helpless. My phone is downstairs, everything, they're just starting to take everything away from me. And I come back downstairs, and some of them are doing like mass exodus. And then I noticed that the food is like ruined on the outside, but perfect on the inside. It was so I left the cooking that I was doing to go handle that, and I'll analyze my dream in a second. So the meat was really good, and I had some people trying to help me. So I start trying to make them a meal. Some of them are grabbing some food, but then I also need to handle that situation. So I go outside and I see the first car of the offenders leaving, and I clearly see the license plate, and I didn't have my phone to take a picture. And then the second one starts driving, and I'm like, no, I'm getting this license plate. I'm going to put it in my mind. At first I was going to try to remember both license plates, and then I'm like, no, I have to just remember one, and that one already drove off, so I can't double verify. I like double verifying, so I tried focusing on that. Then he stops, and he grabs my hand, and he has a gun. What was it about the finger? There's something but he has a gun, and he's like, which wrist do you want me to shoot? And he was going to shoot me in the wrist. So you get this feeling like, what do I do? Do I pick one, or do I don't know what to do? And then I can't remember the end of the dream. I think that's when it stopped. So I never made a decision, never had to go through the trauma, safe from it. But what does that dream mean? And so the um it's hard to express it. The dream is kind of chaotic, and I felt helpless today. There was also where um I felt overpowered, even though I wasn't. I knew I had to do what I had to do. But you get in this helpless state. And there's also been a lot of shootings lately that have kind of hit home. And um, as far as like the meat burning, you have something that you're doing, and there's a lot of distractions that take you away from certain things. And, there's still things that are salvageable. Is part of the message. Is there's things that are salvageable. Be cautious of who you let in. And as far as the money, people will take and not have second thought about it. So sometimes it's hard to describe the analysis of it. But as far as knowing what to do, by knowing to get the license plates, but not having the tools to do it. Also, the children, I think, I see a lot of the tagging along at school that some of these actions that these kids are doing is just because they're following along with the other ones. They don't want to hurt me, and I know that, but it still does some things to you, and the ransack of my house is, I need to clean my car out, and, feeling a little scattered on doing a lot of different things. So as far as working through things that, it can be a sign, of pay more attention to your surroundings and be a little bit more cautious on your belongings, zip your purse up and don't have money hanging out. Be careful you're letting into your house, because I told you guys that I recently had a like a physical offense where I got grabbed and bruised, and it was somebody I thought I trusted. And, the shooting thing, sometimes we're just trying to process things that, it is an unsafe world sometimes. And, we have to pick our battles. Do we chase after, my offender left? Do I chase after my offender, or let them go? Because it was a dangerous situation, and chasing after a dangerous situation isn't always the smartest thing, because he almost shot me in my wrist. Part of that was because before I went to bed, I saw a gunshot wound. I want to say she's 6 years old and just got shot in the face, because I can't remember. She was playing in the yard, or I think it was to go get a basketball in the neighbor's yard. And there's a lot of shootings going on recently, as far as the ones that are either in my area. I had a friend that was murdered recently. But by looking at our dreams, it can let you know that, even though things are destroyed, there's still things that are salvageable, that not everybody is out to get you. Some people just don't know what they're doing. Sometimes we have to give people grace, because not everybody knows what our triggers are, or what is toxic to us, because people can say certain things and they might think it's a compliment, but it might actually, you might take it as an insult. And I know with all the stuff that we've been through, the communication between a narcissist and somebody who's empathetic is off. And, there is some ways to communicate better, with somebody who is a narcissist. So if you have to deal with them, there are different ways. Don't over explain, and keep it concise, keep it on track. And there's certain things that we can do to change it as well. But the mind is a powerful thing. And sometimes our dreams mean something. And I've had answers brought to me in my dream. And I had mentioned something about a friend of mine was wanting to reconnect with this person she met in Michigan who lived in Florida. And we had no idea how to get this guy's phone number. And I had a dream. Just go to the library and get a phone book. It tells how old I am, but get that phone book and look up his name. And she was able to find him. And I had never seen phone books at the library. What gave me that thought? So sometimes do we get visions or answers through our dreams, and we have to be open to them. And I also have noticed a pattern when I do dream, especially excessive dreams, subsequent in the same night, that it's usually when I'm exhausted and needing extra rest. So a lot of times you might need extra rest because you're going through a lot of stress, maybe some physical ailments that are keeping you up at night. But if we even notice patterns, sometimes patterns, even if they were beautiful dreams, it's telling me that I need to get my sleep schedule better, because you have to have, the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, and, what was that, 11 point something days was the longest somebody has gone without sleep. And it can be detrimental to your health, that we can't survive without it. And the better our sleep schedule is, the better our sleep patterns are, the healthier we'll be. Because I can see that my mind, when you get too tired, is trying to play catch up and trying to work through some things that were bothering me. I was bothered about feeling helpless. I was bothered about the things that I saw. And when we know, and also too, it gave me a redirect that not everything is lost. That sometimes we feel overwhelmed and everything is gone. But looking at just that burnt meat, it sounds silly, but that burnt meat showed not everything is gone. There were still some items too. And, life has so many ups and downs. And, in the healing process, that, we can look back for the good times that we had. And if somebody's not willing to change, is it a pattern you want to keep repeating? If somebody's willing to change, there's hope. But we all are struggling. And it's interesting how many different mental illnesses there are. And sometimes people misunderstand each other too. And that's why I want to expand out into the different types of mental illnesses, because I know a lot of people are saying that their person is a narcissist, and they could possibly be something else. And sometimes too, even when we're looking at our friends or something, like, they don't call me back. Are they okay? The way the balances work are really off. And I just see it getting worse right now. So be careful when dealing with the exit of the narcissist. Sometimes it can be quite dangerous. That pick our battles, know our person. If that was somebody else driving away, I would have known them better. Then I would know how they would react. But I just thought it was interesting that what I went through, and I think the shot too related to the pain I went through today. So please like and subscribe. Let me know some of your dreams, and I'll see you in the next video.